It's time, once again, to join the East Tennessee Ghost Seekers for Paratalk. A wide-ranging, open discussion covering everything from UFOs to psychic phenomena, cryptozoology, to paranormal encounters. Do you have a question? Or perhaps you have an experience to share? Email us at etgsparatalk@gmail.com or call 865-264-0448. That's 865-264-0448. And now, here's your host, Stephen Brown, with fellow ETGS members Steve Wiseman, Andrea Brown, Jessie Arms, Elsie Adams, and me, Mike Howard. Sit back, relax, and open your mind. It's time for Paratalk.
Okay, it is Paratalk time. And, you know, we had all these guys talking there. There's this guy mentioning all these names. And none of those assholes are here.
I'm here.
You're here. We actually, this week, I have Andrea.
Hello.
Jessie.
Hello.
And we recruited a new member.
Yes.
Jessie's husband, Kevin. What's up, buddy?
I'm just a little upset my name's not on there. Even if it's just for one time.
He's going to have to make another one. That's it.
Yeah.
Mike's going to get tired of this, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of
people. I come in when you need help.
He's a
Not
stay.
full time.
Well, we appreciate that. We totally do. Mm-hmm. I mean, because without you here, it would be
Boring.
It would be so easy to gang up on Steven.
I know, right?
It'd be so much easier
So I
for
guess
us.
since I'm filling in for Steve, does that mean that I got to make all the corny jokes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got to hit on me.
Yeah.
Talk about how much you
I
love
quit
sweet
doing that a
tea.
long time ago.
Well,
Get back into the swing of things.
well, we've been busy, and Kevin's been busy
yes.
with
Oh,
us.
yeah.
Extremely busy.
Yeah.
I mean, October was a blur.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Oh, it was for me.
It was
It
not
just
a
went
blur.
like bleh.
No, it was 9 months long.
right.
Because it went from the beginning of the month doing stuff and sweating to the end of the month doing stuff and bundled up in somebody's blanket. I don't even know.
That-
We covered
that-
like
that's
3
the truck
seasons
blanket.
in 1 month.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
That was the truck blanket for our long trips when I freeze in the back.
Right. Yeah.
Or if we
Well,
want to snuggle and sleep.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
actually got to watch some wrestling though. That was fun.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That high dollar wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
It was hardcore. I
yeah,
mean, come
yeah,
on.
yeah. I mean,
Well, okay, I have to say that as cold as it was,
Oh, man. I mean, come on.
yeah, they were
really?
running around in nothing.
that was like the absolute coldest.
In Speedos.
Nice.
They were in Speedos. Even we were.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, God, they're freezing me.
Yeah, but what we're talking about now was the Oneida Zombie Fest.
Yes.
And it was awesome. I mean, there was lots of people there. You know, the Smurf zombies.
Seriously,
That
those
was
were
amazing.
awesome.
The Smurf zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were badass.
They followed us to the
The
haunted house. We
yeah,
went to.
Yeah.
yeah, they came in behind us.
I
There was
mean,
like 7 of them.
the extent of work that they did, all the zombies actually, that were there, the extent of work that they put into this was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and the zombie walk they did there at the end, where they're all just moving slowly in front of us.
Hey, and the woman that kept walking around.
No joke.
That woman
She
was
earned
dedicated.
anything she got. I'm sure
Yeah.
she did a good job.
Seriously.
That is pure dedication.
I mean, that's one of those, when you
was-
go to a haunted house, you never break,
She
break
walked-
she was
character.
like one of those soldiers that stands, one of those British soldiers that
Yeah.
stands there with the hats on and stuff. She had no emotion.
She walked
was
all
a
the way
zombie.
down to the water
Yeah, like that.
where nobody was at.
Yeah,
Just so, I mean,
Yeah.
she was dedicated.
I would have
Yeah.
been like, oh crap, nobody's here. I
Nobody's
guess I better walk
looking.
back.
Right.
But she didn't care.
No, she was in
dragging
zombie
that leg.
mode.
She was dragging that leg behind her everywhere she went.
Yes.
Yes.
She was.
The Zombie Fest was awesome, and our mini trips to Screamville.
Our mini
oh my
trips
gosh,
to Screamville was amazing, and actually that one of our trips to Screamville brought in our guest that we have on the show tonight.
yeah.
Tressa Graves. She's an author, and Andrea read up all the info on her because I print the stuff out and I'm like, here, read. So give us a little rundown on Tressa.
Hold on, let me. I
Do
didn't.
the-
I didn't.
the Rush Limbaugh here.
I didn't memorize it or anything. So
Don't get nervous. Don't get nervous.
what do I do?
That almost sounded the way Jessie was away
This show
from the
is
microphone.
going nowhere today.
The way Jessie
Nowhere
was,
fast.
was away from the microphone, that almost sounded like an EVP. Yeah.
So Tressa is.
Was that an EVP?
I think that was. If we get an EVP that sounds like that. Anyway,
Go ahead.
Breathe.
so Tressa Graves is an American novelist, and she's primarily known for her work in the genre of horror and psychological thrillers, as well as true crime. As of now, her novels include The Sawgrass Footpath, The Stalking Monster, which is an 8-part series. And that one was inspired by actual events. Lady in the Backyard, Dream Friend, and Blackwater of Casadaga.
Good job.
You say that? Casadaga. Right. Casadaga.
Casadaga.
See?
Yeah.
Casadaga.
Casadaga.
So anyway, so she's got some new writing projects. She's doing a book of short stories, which is her first true crime story. It's very well researched because it is her own story.
Very cool.
So that is something I definitely want to get into. Hopefully we can discuss more about that. But she's not like your typical author, bookstore type. She goes to her book appearances are just everyday places that people always gather for good times anyway. And
Shut up, Jesse.
quit barking at me behind my back. But she's got promotional support from Bud Light and Dick's Last Resort, and she likes getting out there with the average Joes, not your normal book readers.
I'm wondering how these book signings go at Dick's Last Resort.
You know, that's something we need to ask her because
Do they make her wear
a hat.
the hat on?
But I think it's just because it's some place that not a lot of actual book readers go. You know, so she's able to reach more people that way because once she gets the books out and reaches these people, then that spreads the word and it gets to people who do read books. But she was on a 2-year hiatus, which forced her to go on a hiatus was because of a bad stalker situation.
Which is what the book
Yes.
is based on.
I think it's still ongoing, investigating. So
I'm sure she won't be able to talk about much of that.
Right.
But she can hit on some of it.
But she currently resides in East Tennessee, but she is from Florida, and she misses it, I bet. She loves Dolly Parton, which is...
Oh, yeah. She's my kind of lady.
Well, she's a fanatical fan, just so you know. And she is also Stephen King's #1 fan because she has collected everything book-wise and movie-wise of his. And she is a gamer. She likes playing on PlayStation, like the first-person shooter games. But and she's got,
I wouldn't have thought that when we
I
met.
know.
She's our kind of girl.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
All the way around.
Yeah.
But she's got some contact pages that we'll get into whenever we talk to her. But I'm excited about this. I think it's
cool. Let's just not wait any longer. We'll take a little break, and we'll come right back with Tressa Graves.
Sounds good.
All right, and we'll be back.
You're listening to Paratalk. If you have a question or an experience to share, email us at etgsparatalk@gmail.com or call 865-264-0448. And now, back to Paratalk.
You're listening to Paratalk with Easton Seco Seekers, the new perspective in paranormal talk radio.
All right, we are back.
Hello, welcome back.
All right, and we're back with me, Steven, Andrea, Jessie, and this imposter ETGS member, Mr. Kevin Arms.
The tag-along.
The tag-along.
The tag-along. That's what we're going to call him.
Yeah. The
Sweet tea and tag along.
Sweet Tea's tag-along. He's my straw. That's what he is. He's my straw.
I'm what made her sweet.
Oh, shit.
Right.
So that's how that works. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not alone.
No, we're not.
No, we are not alone at all. No. On the line right now, we have Miss Tressa Graves. Welcome, Tressa.
Thank you. You guys sound like you're having a blast tonight. I'm sitting here cracking up listening to you.
Yeah.
Always.
We try to have fun. You know, life's too serious to be serious all the time.
I know. That's what I tell everybody. I'm the immature one in the household, so.
That's funny. So am I. And I'm the oldest one in the household. So, yeah, it's all right.
Well, I'm the type of person that sits around. I still play video games, and I watch Disney movies.
Hey, we do the same thing. We don't judge.
Yeah.
We've got 3 kids. I know every Disney movie.
Yeah, they're 3 girls, so we do know the Disney movies, and all of them love the game, too. So.
And all of us play games.
Yep.
I play golf.
One
So
big
everyone's a gamer?
Yeah, pretty
Yes.
much. Yeah,
We all are.
Andrea plays golf.
Kevin
Candy
don't
Crush.
really play anything as
Okay.
far as games go. He sits and watches.
Yeah, me, Jessie, and Steve play games.
Yeah.
And Steve's not with us tonight. Steve's in South Carolina. But yeah,
I'm an avid
play.
game watcher.
She's yeah.
There you go.
Andrea watches me play games.
Oh, okay.
But we
I
did.
like playing the first-person shooters, and I'm a big Dynasty Warrior fan, so
Very cool.
that's my big thing,
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'm more of the Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, Madden, Until Dawn,
Yeah.
Resident Evil,
Yes, Friday 13.
Friday the 13th.
Give me Oregon Trail.
So boring. That game's so boring.
Which one?
The Friday the 13th.
Look,
You
Not
just
if,
walk
not if
Don't-
you get in a good room.
Do you
Listen.
remember Twisted Metal?
I
Yes.
swear on
That was a good
everything,
game.
if
That
he
was a
starts
good game.
downing, I'm going to cut you.
Twisted Metal was good. I played that a lot. I like Twisted Metal Black. That one was my favorite.
That
I
is
played
the
that a
good
lot when the original PlayStation came
Yeah,
out.
the
I
regular
hated it
Twisted
so
Metal.
much.
Yeah.
I like Oregon
Yeah,
Trail.
I played those too. All of them are real fun. I just like to curl up sometimes, and sometimes I get in trouble because I play too many games and I'm not getting my work done. But that's what kids do.
That's right.
There you
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all right.
We definitely share one other thing in common there, Tressa. You say that you are a big Dolly Parton fan, but you are not number 1 fan. Okay?
I'd have to argue with you.
I don't know.
That's all you got.
It's the battle of the Dolly lovers.
Could Dolly make you divorced? Because she could me. I guarantee it.
It's pretty cool because I started listening to her when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My mom and dad, for some reason, just bought me Dolly Parton New Harvest First Gathering. So if you're a Dolly fan, you know which album that is. And I still have it. And I have Dolly Parton dolls all in the room, Dolly Parton plates, Dolly Parton bears. And,
You better watch out. He's gonna come find you.
Yeah.
I worked with a woman that was married to one of her nephews, and I tried every way in the world to get this woman to introduce me to Dolly, and she wouldn't do it.
He tried every way in the world to cheat on me with Dolly,
But-
but it wouldn't work.
It definitely.
What I told.
Go ahead.
I told my husband that I would cheat on him with Dolly.
There you go. My kind of woman.
Lord have mercy.
And definitely 90s Dolly. That is the best.
He does have a favorite
90s
Dolly.
Dolly.
90s Dolly.
$9 to $5.
9 to 5.
That's
Dolly.
80s
That's
Dolly.
Oh, is
80s.
that
You get
80s?
into no 90s Dolly. That's the best.
I like 9 to 5 Dolly.
See, I like Lita Ford.
I like Oregon Trail.
Okay, we're not talking about games anymore.
That's all I got. That's all I got, people.
Look, she's sticking with what she knows, okay?
That changed. I was going to tell you guys, I'm a true country girl because I actually sat down and played wrestling on video games as well as watched it I go to the wrestling matches. So.
The heck yeah.
You sound like my oldest child. She is eat up with wrestling right now.
You should have been in Oneida with us. You'd have a good time.
Yeah, they had a wrestling event at the Oneida Zombie Fest when we were up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, those guys had to be freezing their asses off.
Oh, yeah,
because it was
definitely.
cold.
I will embarrass y'all at a wrestling match.
I don't know. That takes a lot to embarrass us. I mean, we are friends
If
with
she's-
Steve. Shout out to Steve.
If she's anything like I am at football games, then you are very country.
Yeah. See, Andrea is, oh my gosh, she, especially if our kid's playing in the game, then she is
No
football
holds
mom.
barred.
She is screaming.
I need blood pressure medicine while watching football.
She's not lying.
Yeah, I can get that way with wrestling. Well, I grew up in Tampa, and I would go to the wrestling matches when Hulk Hogan first started, and he was sitting out in the audience a lot of times, and you didn't even know who Hulk Hogan was at the time.
Wow.
And yeah, so it was really cool because I started way back with like Dusty Rhodes and all the old wrestlers and just followed it through. So I am like into wrestling like you wouldn't believe. I
That's
love it.
awesome, though. It is. That's awesome.
I definitely like to have fun.
Okay, so let's get down to the real dealio here. The real dealio. So you have a huge love for Stephen King.
Yes.
Would you say that is part of the inspiration to you becoming this lady that sits in these dark rooms apparently and writes till she can't see straight?
Yeah, Stephen King. It all started with Dolly, though. I have to say that because she inspired me to do, to just grow up and do something different with my life and follow my dream. And I like a lot of attention, so
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
I got into this. And then I started reading Stephen King. And when I first started out, I was really naive. I'm like, okay, I can write a book like Stephen King and just be the biggest thing in the world. And I got slapped in the face really hard when I first tried that because it's not as easy as people think. But yeah, Stephen King and Dolly Parton, I say they are the two that got me on track to follow my dream and do what I wanted to do.
That's very cool.
That's awesome.
Very cool. I mean, because I would have, honestly, I'd have never thought that at all. I mean, yeah, you got the love for Dolly, you got the love for Stephen King, but I would not have thought those two come together.
But I mean, you've got somebody like Dolly who really has had the rags to riches
Yeah.
and has, stepped out from the norm just to do something different. That's not on that normal path.
Yeah.
And
Which-
Stephen King's the exact same way.
Yeah, there
In
you go.
his field.
Yeah.
You know?
And Dolly's inspired quite a bit of people.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not inspired.
You better watch it.
I'm sorry, dude.
You better watch it.
I'm sorry. I respect that the woman can play guitar with those fingernails.
Seriously though.
She can play. more than guitar.
Did you see that look?
Yeah, I
It's
saw
tearing
it.
him up.
Yeah.
Okay, you are tearing him up
Play
right now.
like 20
Kevin
different
just gave
instruments.
Stephen the evil eye.
Yeah, that's
The
real
eat.
feeling
I just
right
got
there.
I just got the eat shit look.
I'm sure if Tressa was here, she'd give you that
I'd
eye
have got
too.
that eat shit look too.
No.
But
Yeah, I've already given it to him. I heard it.
You were on the
He's
list.
going in a story, that's for sure.
You were
It's
on the
not gonna
list,
be a
dude.
good ending for him now.
do I get to die in your next book? Do I get to die in your next book?
You're going to be the first person to die in your next book.
Opening
Well,
scene,
and going
Stephen
back to
dies.
Yeah.
That's it.
and like going back to the Dolly Parton thing, like, you know, she took off and left and did what she wanted to do when she was young. And when I started my book, well, I'd been writing for years, but when I went out on like my first book tour, it was called the Bohemian Book Tour. And I traveled up and down the East Coast, and people thought I was crazy because I was going to pubs to do book signings. I was going to restaurants. I wasn't doing the normal thing to be a writer, so to speak. And people were like, oh, she's crazy. She's doing all this stuff. And then come to find out, I start posting on Facebook that, hey, Bud Light is now advertising my book signings at all these places. And people were like, okay, well, maybe she weren't that out there, you know, going after something different. So that's what I did. And I went out, I did that. I picked up Bud Light doing advertising. I was going to like Dick's Last Resort. I was going up and down the East Coast to any Dick's Last Resort I wanted to go to, and just I wasn't doing what other people were doing, and it really helped me to get out there and get my work known, you know. And I kind of looked at it, instead of going at a bookstore to do the same normal thing people go in, I want to go to people who aren't readers and who want to get into something maybe a little different, if that makes sense.
That is exactly what I said, because we were discussing this before we got you on about how you would go to like the bars and restaurants and stuff like that, and they couldn't feed. They were like, I wonder why she would do that. And I was like, well, it's probably to reach the people that don't normally read books. Mm-hmm. Score one for Andrea. Yes.
She finally got one.
So okay. Well, my burning question is, when you went to Dick's, did they make you wear a hat?
I did not have to wear a hat, but my crew did, because I went out with the hubby, I went out with my cinematographer and my producer, and they had to wear a hat. And I've got those posted on Facebook.
Oh, that is awesome.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, they never made me wear the hat. It was really cool because I went in Dick's Last Resort here in Gatlinburg, and they had a 3-foot by 5-foot banner hanging from the ceiling. It was double-sided, and it had my picture, it had the beer that Bud Light does, and it had Dick's Last Resort. And it was so cool to go in and see Bud Light, your name, and all this stuff up there. It was like, wow, this is amazing that I've been able to accomplish this just by stepping outside and doing something a little different.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty
awesome.
cool, yeah.
Now, have you ever thought of going to actual author events that authors throw?
I have before. I actually did some conventions down in Florida whenever I lived in Tampa. And then I went to a library up in Niles, Michigan, and did a book signing there. I wear the big hair. I wear a lot of makeup, and I like to be me. And I think I'm more comfortable in a setting where people are out having fun.
Oh, yeah.
People are more relaxed. They come up to you, talk to you, and yeah. So it's not that I don't want to do stuff like that. It just happened that I decided to open up and go do.
Now, I will tell you this. I go to a lot of author events because I love to read. And poor Kevin over here pays for them. So he don't like that too much when I'm spending hundreds of dollars on books and stuff. But all the ones that I have gone to have been so much fun. The authors just love talking. They're not judgy. They're real down to earth. They're real into their audience and everything like that. So I honestly think that you would do good in that atmosphere, depending on which ones that you went to, honestly. But the ones that I've gone to in Nashville and Ohio and everything, I think that you would fit right in with those people perfectly.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because we're actually thinking of, because I'm going to start a book tour come next year. I'm getting back out on the road. And it's pretty cool because I went from just writing horror to writing psychological thrillers and true crime now.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go to all of these different events and I'll fit in wherever I go.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
So,
oh, yeah,
so
that's amazing.
So I just opened everything up by just changing up what I write, because I've always wanted to do true crime.
Uh-huh.
Just never really did the crossover to do it, because I love doing horror too. I want to do it all. I mean, there's no rule saying I have to do one or the other.
Oh,
So
no. No.
Well, I've got a question about the true crime part of it. I was in law enforcement for 14 years, and one of the problems that I have with TV, books, and stuff is a lot of times it's just not real, And so, where did you get? Like, did you work with law enforcement to get a lot of your stuff, or how did that work out?
Well, it's funny that you asked that because I hadn't gone over to true crime. I didn't make the switch over, and I have been being stalked for 2.5 years, going on 3 years now. And I was in, the FBI's working my case and the police, and they both told me this is the worst stalking case that they've ever seen.
Really?
So they said that I should turn this into a story to get awareness out there on the things that happened to me and everything. So I always wanted to go to true crime. I just didn't know my first book would be my own.
Right.
That's awesome, though.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's not awesome that it's happening to you, but it's awesome that you can maybe help other people
absolutely
by telling your story and putting that out there.
Those stalking cases, they're very hard because, unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do until something's happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And by then it
makes
could be
really
too
hard,
late.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess you're one of the lucky ones that actually get to share your story.
Yeah.
which is
It wasn't that way to begin with because it took me months to get the police to listen to me because they're like, well, did this person say he was going to come kill you? Did he say this? And, I mean, the police can't do too much to really help out. So it finally got to a point where I was calling the FBI every single day. I would even drive down to the FBI office. And finally, I was put in front of 2 FBI agents, and then they made a follow-up, came out here to my house and talked to me. And as soon as this person who's been stalking me put up videos of shooting me in my head, nose, mouth, and all this, they said, yeah, enough's enough. And they finally got involved and opened up the case. So,
Wow.
well, and it is. I mean, you're very brave for putting that story out there, and I know it can't be easy, reliving this. But I mean, there's probably a lot of people out there that are experiencing this, and whenever they get the opportunity to see that somebody else has experienced it, and and that you've survived it, that there's hope.
yeah, and that's what I want to get out there because it came to a point where when this first started, I was drinking alcohol, I was on Valium, and I was taking sleeping pills. I had wood in my windows, my door. I wouldn't get out. I wouldn't do anything. I just got out of counseling about 6 months ago, I would say. And he had me so scared for my family and stuff that I was to the point where I was thinking about just ending everything. And I'm lucky I had Stephen Roberts, who is my guy who does all my videos and everything, and he was there for me through all this. He stuck by me, and of course family and stuff. But it's really hard, and a lot of people don't understand what a stalking victim goes through. A lot of people think, you're exaggerating certain things, but you're not. Whenever someone puts your modeling pictures up on Pornhub and talks to men and tells the men that you have a fantasy of being raped, and he gives them your home address in the chat.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then he's posting your home address all over the web, saying that your husband is raping kids in the basement, and he sends it to biker gangs. That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
What?
Man.
That's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah.
And then he was tagging me to Muslim organizations, saying stuff to the Muslims because he wanted Muslims to come here to my house to do me harm. And he was just trying everything he could to get someone to come in and take me out.
Wow.
And
Gosh.
Well,
So
good,
you
good for
actually
you
know who
for.
this is?
I couldn't hear you.
Do you actually know who this is that's doing all this?
Yes, I do know who this is. And it's still an open police case right now. And I spoke to the officer about me doing this interview, and he's like, well, you can only say this and this and this. And I told him I know.
Right.
Because we don't want to jeopardize
Absolutely.
the case.
Right.
But I mean, the public knows the stuff that I'm already saying because whenever VidMe was up, I don't know if you guys are familiar, they were kind of like a YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He made about 200 accounts under my name and was posting my home address. He had pirated my books. He was giving my work away for free on VidMe. He put me on Pirate Bay. He's lied on me, saying family members have been arrested. People I don't even know, putting my name with other people's name, and there's just so many lies out there on the internet right now.
Well, on that, on the whole stalker thing, I guess it's that whole morbid curiosity. But when this story comes out, are the readers going to know maybe the relationship between you two?
Oh yeah, and a lot of people already kind of know the relationship. This person used to work for me.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to work for me, and so once the true crime novel comes out, I'm going to release as much as I can without jeopardizing my family and stuff like that. Of course, some things that he did you want to keep private.
Right.
Because, and other people that he's brought into this. But I went out with Dick's Last Resort. I told you guys, he posted on Dick's Last Resort's page nonstop telling him I had herpes, I had AIDS. He contacted the CDC and reported me and Dick's Last Resort and said I was in there doing book signings and I have herpes.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know if you are this person's only target?
No, I am not. I'm just the worst.
Well,
Wow.
And I'm the one that stood up to him. No one else would stand up to this person, and I decided to put on my big girl britches
for
and
you.
put this person
Yeah.
head on.
good
Yeah.
for you.
Wow.
And let me ask you, and this may be private, but how's your husband's response? I know sitting here listening to this, I'm thinking if this was Jessie, I'd find this man and he wouldn't be a problem.
No, he wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know it's got to be hard for him.
It is hard for him, and it's been really hard to let the police do their job because the police, they do their job, but it's not the police, it's the laws that they have to follow.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point, I'm sure in certain circumstances, they have their hands tied. They can only go so far. They can only do so much.
Exactly. But I'm pretty secure now. I feel safe because, like I said, I have the FBI. Knox County, they have been so great. He's used the police to come out here and stalk me. He'll say, like, Sam's inside beating me up or we're doing drugs, and the police will come out here. And he's hoping that they would let him know that because I moved. I had to for my for my sanity with this guy. So
Absolutely.
he was hoping if he called the police, they would tell him, "Oh, she's still at that address," or give them some kind of information. But Knox County has already got it in the computers. They know what he's doing, and they're not going to reply to anything he says. So they have me covered 100%, as well as the FBI.
Wow, that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and they've done a great job. The agent that I'm working with, I won't say his name right now. He's going to be in the book. Last time I saw him, I gave him a really big hug because he's just been by my side. We were on the phone one day for probably 5 hours.
Oh, my
going through
gosh.
the case. Yeah, he's awesome, and everyone I'm working with is really great.
Well, good for you for standing up for yourself.
Yes.
Well, thank you. It was
That is-
hard.
I
Trust me.
have no doubt.
I've been out of work for 2.5 years, and just getting back out now it feels good. I have a little bit of fear, in the back of my head that maybe he is going to get someone, especially whenever I announce I'm going to be somewhere.
Right.
You never know if he's going to get someone to come out there and do something at a book signing or whatever, but
And-
we've got security down pretty good.
Now, this may be touching into the part that you can't really talk about, but is this person still roaming freely?
Yes, right now.
Wow.
Yes, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's why the fear is still there.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
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 And that goes back to this Stalking Monster series that I'm doing. It's an 8-part series. I can't write the true crime novel until it goes through the court
Right.
and all that stuff. But the Stalking Monster, that's inspired by actual events. And I just finished part 2. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's my venting a little bit on what happened. And I asked the police and stuff. I told them what I wanted to do, and they're like, "That's fine."
Does that
Because it's inspired.
does that help you
by
deal
us.
with it? Putting it down on paper. Is that kind of a
Sometimes-
stress relief for you?
Yeah, sometimes it does. Like, I went on YouTube the other day, and I downloaded all of my videos, and he's uploaded so many things on YouTube, and it's still up on YouTube. And YouTube refuses to take some stuff down. Like, he's got a video up right now saying Sam raped both of his kids
Oh my gosh.
and calls him a baby raper. And it's like, I can't believe YouTube hasn't taken this stuff down, but that's okay because it's just helping my case now.
Yeah.
Oh
it
yeah,
totally is.
absolutely.
With him having all this up. But when I was downloading those videos, I cried a little bit because I was downloading the videos that he had done on me. And looking at that stuff, it brings back a lot of bad memories. And whenever I get in those moods, what I'll usually do is I'll go put in a Dolly Parton song or go play a video game with my family or something, and that usually that helps me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that having that gaming outlet does kind of take you out of your reality, and I'm sure that helps you. It's kind of like a therapy.
Yeah. That's like us.
Yeah.
We go talk to dead people.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know,
That's our therapy.
it's our therapy.
That's our therapy. We go sit in dark places and talk to dead people.
Oh, yeah.
So
Wow.
But yeah.
back to the
But yeah, I'm making it through it, and hopefully it's going to be over really soon. So that's what I look forward to.
I hope
Good,
so.
Good. Well, you'll have to keep us updated.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I will. And it's funny because he went around saying I'm a fake author. I'm not a public figure. And come to find out, he's being brought up on charges of stalking a public figure. So,
Well.
Oh,
yeah.
Joke's on him.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh well, there you go. So I'm not what you say I am, but
Well, obviously this man is completely deranged, and hopefully they get him put away for
somewhere.
And good luck to you with that whole
Oh,
situation.
thank you.
We'll keep you in our prayers.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So
Well, I got some good news today. I was talking to, I can't go into this too much, but as far as the Stalking Monster series goes, I think something really big is going to happen for me on this. I'm working with 2 different studios. I thought it was just one studio, and come to find out today, it's 2 different, let's say, movie studios.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, that I'm working with. So I am so excited. I got the news today. So I got to get the screenplay off, and I'll have that sent to my agent Saturday. And I just hope this works out. This would be a great thing for me since I've been out of work for so long.
Well, and through all of this horrible situation, there's got to be, a silver lining.
Yeah, something good's got to come out of it.
Something good has got to come out of all this. And I mean, the fact that you will be putting your story out there for all of those people who are, going through this and don't know where to go and don't know what to do.
Maybe just thought of not saying anything about it.
Yeah, you're giving people hope, and you're getting a dream out of this. Even something completely awesome out of this.
You could be somebody else's Dolly.
You could be.
You could
There you go.
inspire them to do something. So,
And that's a pretty big compliment.
Very, very well said there, Kevin.
Very well said, Kevin.
I've already had a few people contact me because they've been being stalked and they've asked me for advice, and I talk to them on the phone when I can, and I'm helping them behind the scenes. That's what a lot of people don't know. I'm helping people behind the scenes to get the help that they need. And the worst part about it is a lot of these people I talk to, they blame it on law enforcement, the police. And I said, look, it's not their fault. They're doing what they can. They have laws that they have to go by.
I would say, though, that in the heat of the moment when all of this is going on, you think the only thing you can run to are the cops. And, even though they are following protocol, they're not helping you enough. It's just not quick enough. And, it's a victim thing.
A lot of the problem, too, is it's not that so much they're going by the law. There's not a law. And so people need to get with their legislators and let them, tell them what's going on, and maybe they can make more laws.
That's
so that the law enforcement can do more.
That's
because there's a lot, like I said, in a lot of cases, and I'm not saying your case, I don't know the details, but with stalking, like I said, you can't. There's not a lot you can do until a crime, something happens, and by then it's too late.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you could do something more preventative, that would help. But there's just not the laws
and
there.
That's awesome that you said that. Is that the cops are restricted, the police are restricted, and it would be awesome if all of the victims could get together and go to their legislators and say, hey, we're hurting because of this. Do something. Create a law. Create a way for our law enforcement to help us.
Yeah. Well, and that's pretty cool that you guys mentioned that, because the FBI agent I'm working with, he said that he would help me go in front of Congress, give me the names I need to be a spokesperson for this and try to get some laws changed, and that's what I plan on doing.
That is fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, so I plan on doing a lot. I just need to wait until my case is wrapped up.
Right.
And it's so slow.
It's a process, but you could be helping so many out there.
Yep.
Yeah. I hope that this will help people, and it'll bring awareness to, especially online stuff. I mean, there's things. I've been stalked by this person's friends. They've threatened to come here and behead me, and they live not far from me.
Oh my gosh.
Good Lord.
So I've been gang stalked by his friends. He's gotten his friends into it.
I think that's a new term right there, gang stalk.
Yeah, gang stalk.
Yeah, and that's what I've been dealing with for so long. And I'm one person. I have say 15 people sending me messages, wanting me dead, threatening me, pirating my books. It's really hard when you've got all these people that hate you so much. It's really hard to get up the next day and say, I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to follow my dream, because he wanted me to retire. He kept sending me messages and saying, you're retired from the industry. You're dead. You're gone. And I didn't let him do that. I got up every day and I fought, no matter how hard it was.
Well,
And
more power to you.
Really,
thank you.
You got this.
That's why. Well, and that's why getting out there again, it feels so good. I feel like, and at the beginning we were talking about Dolly Parton and her album New Harvest First Gathering. When she had left Porter Wagoner, she had to end up suing Porter Wagoner to get away from him and everything. And she wrote a song called Light of a Clear Blue Morning. And I play that song a lot because that song reminds me of me. And that album that she wrote was her breakaway from Porter, so she could actually do her career the way she wanted to, live her life the way she wanted to, and be free. And that's where I am right now. And it's really weird because growing up, that was my favorite album, and now it means even more because of what I've been going through. It's kind of spooky.
It was there with you the whole time.
That's awesome.
I know. It's really spooky, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to just jump in real quick and, let's put some time in on your horror stuff that you've written. Because our fan base, they're going to love the shit out of that stuff. So,
you mean they don't like Dolly?
Come on, Kev.
How dare they?
Everybody loves Dolly. It's okay. Calm down, babe.
Yeah. Everyone loves Dolly.
Everybody loves Dolly.
Yes.
Well, I did my book, The Sawgrass Footpath, which that is the one that Bud Light had gone out with me to do advertising and stuff. That story takes place in Florida, and it kind of takes place, it's kind of based off true crimes that happened in Florida. I just took my own imagination and did what I wanted to with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a really cool horror story. That's got apparitions. It's got a little bit of true crime. It's got dungeons. It's got murderers. It's got everything in it. So whether you like true crime or horror, that book has a little bit of everything in it.
I would totally dig that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So that one is, I'm very proud of that book. And on the front cover, it's the name of the Sawgrass Footpath is made out of license plates, and it fits the story because it's about tourists that were going to Florida in the 90s and were being murdered at the rest areas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So when Philip Osemacher, my cinematographer, did the license plate, that was pretty cool. It really put a little twist onto the story and everything with that.
Cool.
Very cool.
And then I've got Blackwater of Cassadaga. I actually put that story up for free. That is, that's a story that takes place in Florida again. It's a tale of a witch, Indian chief, giant anaconda, and a urban legend of kids that are dying in this little town, which is a real town called Cassadaga, Florida. And
I'm glad I got the right
now.
pronunciation on that.
Oh, did we? I was going to say, I thought we got it wrong.
We did.
Like, way
We were
wrong.
like Casadaga. What?
Cassadaga? What's this?
After you said it, I was like,
Cassadaga.
oh yeah, that is what that says, huh?
Knew it all.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I think a lot of people have a hard time with that one, and that one's got the old Indian chief in it, Osceola, which Floridians know of him and stuff. And that story is really cool because there's a place in Florida where you can go and you can put your parking gear in. Well, put your gear in neutral and your car go up this hill backwards.
Oh, I've seen that. I've
Yeah.
seen that. Yes.
Cool.
It's called Spook Hill. And I took a little bit of Spook Hill because there's a sign out there that says, something about a legend with the Indian chief and a giant alligator. Where I took it, where it's the Indian chief that goes against the anaconda snake and a good alligator. So I changed it up a little bit, but that's kind of a little cool tale that I've got out there. And like I said, the audio book for that is on my YouTube page, and it's also on the Blackwater Casadega page as well. I've got a like page on that.
Very cool.
And then I've got The Lady in the Backyard. That one's cool. That's an urban legend about a witch. And that one also takes place in Florida. And I've got book trailers up on that and stuff.
Well, you going to write anything about East Tennessee?
I was going to get to that. It's funny because the Stalking Monster series is probably the biggest thing I've done since I've been out of work, and that takes place in Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Heck yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's right here, our backyard.
That is the backyard.
Yeah, that's right. And whenever the police case and everything is done with the stalking, I can say why that takes place in Oak Ridge, and it's going to be really cool when people find out why I did that as a setting.
Wow. Can't wait.
I am intrigued.
I'm totally curious now.
Yes.
I look forward to this even more so.
So I have a question. I have a dead serious question. Okay, you have these writing skills. Have you ever thought about, the whole ghost story, the book, like people telling you stories and you pinning that stuff out?
I would love to do that. That's something that I've been wanting to do, and that goes to what I'm working on now, actually, because I'm starting my own mini-series, and I'm traveling to Michigan really soon to do the first 3 shoots for this. It's going to be like 8 to 10 minute little mini movies, you can call it, because it's going to have real life actors in it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't told anyone the name or anything. It's going to be called The Dark Hours Presents Tales from the Grave.
Wow.
Ooh.
Very
You
cool.
heard that first on here.
That's right here, Paratalk people.
So, and I'm going to be doing little short stories and stuff like that, writing them into screenplays. I've got 3 that I'm working on now to take to Michigan. And when I get done filming in Michigan, I may be going to Wisconsin to do a few. And then when I come back, I want to shoot here in East Tennessee. And I think in the email I had sent you, I said, hey, if it's something that you guys are interested in, we could take and do something together with this. I could turn some of your stuff into a screenplay.
Wow.
And you guys could work on this with me here in East
It sounds to
Tennessee.
me like you don't have enough to do.
I know.
You may be bored.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, that would be awesome. We would be honored to be part of that with you.
Absolutely. Gosh, that would be
definitely.
so cool.
But I mean,
Okay, yeah.
like I was hinting at, just like we've been doing this. Our group total, we have probably about 55 years of experience combined in the paranormal field. And we have
Whoa.
lots and lots and lots of stories
Yes.
from different investigations. And whenever you slow down
And take a breath.
and take a breath, if you ever become interested in wanting to share our stories, hit me up. We'll get together, and
I mean, I can write, but not as good as you. I know my letters.
yeah, Andrea writes the alphabet.
We good at our English, ain't we?
Actually, I will say that I was the one that always had the red pen correcting my brother's papers.
Oh, the red pen. Damn the red
I did, and I always correct Stephen.
Yeah, yeah,
Good at
she
that.
does. Yeah. No, it's like anytime I write something like huge, I'm like, here, check this. And she's like, yeah, you effed up here, you messed up here. Fix
Where's your
this.
punctuation?
Red mark, red mark, red mark.
I'm like, damn it.
Just do it over.
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Yeah. But
No, that is something I would like to do with you guys. It's funny because I got a paranormal group from England that gentleman had gotten a hold of me and asked me if I wanted to do something with him, and I said, "Oh, I'm not trying to be a diva or nothing, but I'm swamped. I can't do anything right now, but it would be really cool to do something local with you guys."
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That
I mean, we've got stories. I mean, because we've investigated, as far as Missouri, up into Ohio, down into Savannah, and Alabama, everywhere in the Southeast. We try to hit.
Ohio.
And so I said Ohio.
Oh.
Kentucky.
He didn't say Florida, though. We don't have any Florida investigations.
No, we haven't. But
I would absolutely love, and I expect to plan this at some point by going down to the lighthouses.
St. Augustine.
St. Augustine.
Yeah, I would love to go to the lighthouses. But yeah, I mean, we have several stories. So I mean, if like I said, whenever you get time, just get a hold of me.
Yeah, one of our guys has even been to the Winchester Mansion.
Yeah.
Mike has.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mike, the guy that does our intro, I think you met him that night at Screamville. He's the Asian looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He lived in California for a long time.
Yeah, he lived in Europe. He's lived everywhere. He acts.
He's our well-versed member.
Yeah.
Either that or he's full of shit.
Aren't we all?
I get starstruck every time I see him. I'm like, I didn't know we knew somebody that was so famous.
Yeah.
See, Steve was our East Coast traveler,
And
he's our worldwide traveler.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
wow.
but yeah, he's been in, like, he was in the last Fast and Furious movie. He's been, what channel is it? Investigation ID.
Mm-hmm.
He plays a detective. He has a recurring role on there, playing a detective on some show.
And he does some amazing plays.
Yeah, he does some amazing plays, and right now he's actually working on directing Green Day's American Idiot play that's going to be coming out after the first of the year. So.
Oh, wow.
But we could get some stories together for you, and
Definitely.
Yeah, we can just get together
And that
and talk and drink and share stories.
Yeah.
And that would be great because after I'm done doing all this, my brain is going to be fried. So it'd be nice to just have stories already there.
there you go.
Yeah, and,
We'll give you the content. You just pretty it up
yeah, and I
or
mean,
scary it up.
yeah, because we have some that are pretty messed up. We've had shit thrown across rooms. We've actually had to have an exorcism performed on a house.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we've experienced some crazy stuff over. We've been
It
together
would
since
make a good
2009.
TV show.
We would make a great
It
TV
really,
show.
it really would. I mean, come on, people. It would make it
If
amazing.
nothing else, it would be a great book.
Yeah. Hint, hint.
I would love to go out with you guys one time, too.
Oh.
To go.
We
on an
Absolutely.
investigation. That
Yeah.
would be awesome.
we can totally make that happen.
I mean, in order to write, if you're going to write a book about these stories, you really need to immerse yourself in it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there you go. You're just doing.
Kind of like I did my true crime, right? Put my
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you do this for fun.
Yeah, this won't be
And-
as traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do this for fun.
And your next book can be based on true events.
Yes.
Ooh.
If something happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah, your
That's
personal
true.
experiences.
And it's really cool because when I was telling you, the name of, because I have a podcast that I started a few years ago, and it just kind of died out because of the stalking. It's called The Dark Hours. And then I want to do this ongoing series called Tales from the Grave. And what you guys do would fit into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
As far as turning something into a novel or a short story.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we have tons of stories we would not care to share at all. So, and it helps you and it gets our stories out there because I love talking about the things that we've experienced and the families we've helped and all that. So, that's just
Yeah.
right there.
Easy peasy.
Fun times had by all.
Yeah. Except for,
I look forward to that.
it's just like, you remember the painting that we had at Screamville.
That right there is a
Yeah.
good story.
That's a very good story. I mean, this lady dealt with stuff in her house for 20 years. So.
And she had the most amazing bed ever.
That's true.
Do you
She
remember
did.
how
Yes,
comfortable her bed was?
I do.
That was
and
ridiculous.
that is a bed for memories.
It really is. That random thought. That's what I think of when I think of her is how amazing her bed was.
It was so comfortable.
It really was. It's so much so that we were all sitting on it at one point in time because it was so nice. Remember?
It was like,
I'm just now remembering what you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
The
bed,
I
it was
was
so
remembering
soft.
all the other shit that happened.
Well,
I
It
wasn't
was a
thinking about
crazy
the
night,
bed.
but then you sit on that bed and it's like everything's right in the
everything
world. You know?
I'd be like,
That was this place local where you guys went and did that?
It was in
With the
Newport.
painting?
It was
Yeah.
in Newport, Tennessee. Yeah.
Newport. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an incident.
Yeah, now we're having a dog fight underneath the chairs.
under me.
Killer chihuahuas.
It's a ferocious fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get you guys in touch with like my crew too. So, because they really help me do a lot of stuff, and they come along with like a lot of projects that I do. They help make sure I'm on track and do like my book trailers and stuff. So it'd be really cool for you guys to meet Philip Ossemacher and Stephen Roberts. Philly's the cinematographer, so he puts together a lot of stuff. And Stephen, he's my producer.
Cool.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff for me as far as
I mean,
that
we could
goes.
always work with more Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw another one in there. Why not?
Enough.
Yeah.
There's never too many Stevens.
That's right.
Never.
There's 2 in our group. So.
What amazes me is last year I did a book signing out at Screamville, and that was my first book signing I had done since the Stalking started. So I was kind of in the corner over there. I wasn't talking to anyone, and I saw you guys there, and we never made contact. It was just this last time that I was out there.
Yeah.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, I remember her being there. It's just every time we go to Screamville, I mean, you saw, we are so busy the entire time we're there. People
Or we're,
coming by.
running through the field ourselves screaming.
Yeah. Well, Jessie is.
Whatever.
Yeah. If you haven't.
And one of y'all got buried.
Both.
Two of you did.
Yeah.
Me and Jesse.
Andrea and
The
Jessie
ladies
both.
of the group did. They throw us in there.
Me and Steven tried to pay them to keep them.
They wouldn't take the money. They said it was on a timer.
That's because Doug knows us. He don't want us.
He's like, no.
Once a year is good enough.
And take them women home.
They said this place is scary enough.
They actually had one of those whenever we were down in Florida in September, because I went down there to see my granny, and we went down there for a week. I ended up buying Westgate. That's timeshare down there, so I've already got my vacation paid for next time I go back to Florida.
Nice.
I know. So, but we went to Old Town because we had stayed in Lakeland. It's in between Tampa and Orlando. And I took the hubby over to Old Town in Kissimmee. And they had a haunted house there. They had a thing with it where you could be buried alive, and it was a simulator. And it had, I didn't do it, but it described in on the banner that they had out there, it said it had rotting decay smell that came through, and it's like it feels like dirt's being thrown on top of you, and I'm like, okay, that's a little.
That's kind of how it was at Screamville. It was wild. It was,
Yeah. Everybody that has watched that video that I put out there at work, they go up to me and like, that girl that got buried, she was freaking hilarious.
Doug uses it
yeah.
as his video. He's like, come see us at Screamville and get buried alive like this crazy chick.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, that was not me putting on. That was all real.
Oh yeah, that was totally real.
That was legit, because for a while I forgot that I actually had that camera because I was sitting there freaking out so bad, and then I thought, oh my God, and I couldn't even remember what I had said in the video. I thought, I'm going to embarrass myself so bad in this video.
I bleeped it out. Yeah. You dropped a big F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, you screamed it.
It scared me. I was so scared.
Well, I mean, nobody
about-
really got to see mine because mine was so much more like
laid back.
uneventful.
Composed.
Yeah, Andrea just laid there the whole time. She opened her eyes one time.
I did, and you know, I may have looked like I was like just enjoying the ride, but I was really sitting there just trying to control my breathing.
Right.
Yeah.
In and out, in and
Well,
out,
you-
and I did it like a champ.
You did.
You really
did.
did.
Boss.
Well,
Boss the
let's see.
whole way.
I want to share one more little story about Andrea. Andrea's very first paranormal investigation was at the Wheatlands Plantation. And Steve and I took Andrea and we put her in the very back of the house on the second floor in the slave quarters, gave her a digital recorder, an EMF detector, and set a camera up across the room and left her for 45 minutes.
Heck yeah.
So for 45 minutes, she sat there in pitch black, investigating her very first time. And like when I watched back the video and was going through all the evidence, I'm like, son of a bitch, I've got to marry this chick.
I gotta keep her.
Yeah, she's badass. She's sitting in this room all by herself.
The whole time I'm thinking, please don't come out and get me. Please don't come out and get me.
Please don't be real.
And
The
actually,
way my mind works, I would be if I was in there for 2 minutes, I'd be freaking out because I'd scare myself with all the stuff I'd be thinking of.
well, you know, the whole
In and
time
out.
we were there, I even told you this. I was like, I don't think they like me. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, nothing is happening. I don't hear any voices, you know. And so I was getting very discouraged. But then after they started reviewing everything, all of the responses
Were to her.
were to me.
Nice.
She did see a shadow person.
I
that
did
night
actually,
in,
and that was
in the battlefield.
it was incredible. It was
the
a
battlefield
lady.
/ cemetery.
It was a lady in a yellow dress.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
In the grave, like right outside the grave.
It took me like 3 years of investigating before
Yeah,
I saw
her
one shadow
first time.
person.
Time
Her first
here.
time.
I thought something was wrong with me for the longest time. I was like, oh God,
I need stronger
Yeah.
it's,
glasses.
it's just not working for me.
'Cause- Where was it? Because you were with us.
It was
when-
the haunted Hillsbar Dam that I
Hillsbar,
saw
yeah.
my first one.
Yeah.
And I freaked. I was like, when I wanted to know if everybody saw it. I was like, Steve, look! Oh my God, it was there, and it walked, and it was my first time, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
I just knew it. I just knew I'd seen something, and it was as awesome as I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And I've seen another one since then too. So that's two.
Yeah.
I think it's that whole opening up to, you know.
Well, we have a residential investigation coming up the 9th, and it's going to be interesting for you ladies.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm just going to leave it at
Yeah.
that for right now.
Yeah. I've read the stories.
Yeah, after we get the investigation done, and this would be a great one for you to write about, because the claims from the family I won't go into right now on the air, but the claims from the family are horrific, and I mean I'm serious. I'm going to do some serious praying before we ever go to this location on the 9th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you have my number, so you can always call me anytime and we can talk
Cool
Absolutely.
beans. Cool
Cool.
beans.
and meet up and stuff too.
Yeah.
'Cause we're not that far from each other, I don't think.
Yeah, you're in Knoxville?
Yeah,
We're
Knoxville.
basically in Oak Ridge.
Yeah, we're basically in Oak Ridge. Like,
Oh wow,
Yeah.
this is creepy.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Like-
meant to be.
That's why we were like, when you said that's part of the story was going to be based in Oak Ridge, we're like, oh, well, there we are. All right.
Yeah, because like I can walk out of my house and get in my truck, and I can be to the Walgreens in Oak Ridge in 7 minutes.
No, it's not that
Oh
close.
wow.
Okay, about 9 minutes.
Maybe 9.
Okay, about 9 minutes.
I was thinking
But-
10.
Get your red marker up.
Yeah. Okay, get your
Time out.
get your red pen out, Andrea.
She's going to jump in the
Yeah.
car and time it.
Because I work on the lower end of Oak Ridge. I work at the old K25 site, and
Oh, do you?
yeah, and so I can make it from my house there in 25 minutes.
That's not a bad drive to have to go to work though.
Nah, nah.
I'm just a
Especially-
granny driver, so that's why it takes me longer to get there. God.
Yeah. Especially going through town at 5:30 in the morning. There's no one there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I work
I
at
don't
Y
think
12.
people-
There's
Yeah.
a lot of people there.
Yeah.
How long is your drive?
It's not long, but like I said, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially
We're going to
when you get the
Y12.
portals.
Yeah.
Oak Ridge gets jam packed.
Yep. But yeah, so
I might have
we're
to
all
have
about
to
Oak
look
Ridge.
at my cat and do some kind of scanning on him because sometimes he acts like he's possessed. He just went off on me here, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
We have a cat like that.
Weirdo.
We have a cat like that. Our his name is Waverly. We named him after the Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Yeah, because that
So-
cat is freaking.
Oh, really?
nuts.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's precious.
He's
Well, I named
crazy.
this one Miko. He's from Pocahontas, the raccoon that always gets in trouble. That's Miko.
Oh, love it.
Eats
Yeah.
everything.
Oh.
Miko, yeah. And I wanted to tell you guys, like on the Stalking Monster, I did the prequel first, and now I'm starting with the different parts. So the prequel, as the story goes on, it ends up in Oak Ridge, but it actually starts out in Ames, Iowa.
Wow.
And I can tell everyone why that is once the stalking case is over as well. So it's got a lot of creepy twists and stuff to it that people end up finding out. But yeah, it does end up in Oak Ridge.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
I can't wait.
You know, the twist and everything makes for a good book. So there you go.
Definitely.
I hope it's for a good something else too.
Yeah.
I don't just want the book.
I want it all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure
I'm
it's
like
gonna.
Ariel.
I'm
I want
sure
more.
it's gonna go far and wide.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I
And-
hope so.
And we.
And I don't know if you guys know this about me, but two things is I had my publishing company up and going, and I ended up not really shutting down, but just walking away for a while. But I have a new author that I'm bringing on board. He's going to be published under my name and my company. And,
Very cool.
yeah, I'm publishing him probably this month or either next month. But I also have a new T-shirt line up now, too. I don't know if you guys saw that or not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Huggies
And-
for my juggies or something like that.
And that started
Oh,
one night. I had a few drinks and I was on Facebook. Well, I signed off one night and I said, after my few drinks, I said, "Huggies for my juggies, everyone."
Oh
And I
my
woke
God.
up the next day, everyone loved it.
That's
I love
yes. Yes, I want one.
I gotta get me one of those.
That is awesome.
So every night when I sign off Facebook, I say Huggies from my juggies. And I've got men buying shirts, and they send me pictures. I got Huggies from my juggies on their shirt. And
Oh my
stuff.
Oh my
God.
gosh.
That's hilarious.
That's,
We need one,
That's
Jessie.
priceless. Yes, we do need one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This is like we have shirts. We did this podcast with these girls from another podcast. They're up in Washington D.C. and they came down to one of our events and they brought us their shirts. Their podcast is Vodka and Ghosts, VAG. So we have VAG shirts.
Yes.
And so now we need.
Vag shirts for the Vag girls, and now we need Huggies for our juggies.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
My juggies loves
And I need to
Huggies.
get one of you guys' shirts.
Heck yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So do you guys have a link up for your shirts where they're sold at, or?
We just order them and we take them to events and sell them.
Okay.
But I think we have a couple left. I can definitely hook you up with a shirt.
Oh, cool. All right. That sounds good. Yeah, I was going to put a link up, too, for people so they could go see where they could get either a Huggies for my juggies or one of your shirts there.
Well, I will. Let's go ahead and you give us all your details where people can reach you, where they can find you, and in the podcast notes, I'm gonna post links to all of your sites and everything, and your videos that you had sent me earlier today. So go ahead and just take a couple minutes and tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, I tell everyone to go to my website. It's www.tressagraves.com. And if they go there, I have up all my books, the new apparel line. I have my bio up. And I have links to all of my other sites. I'm on every single social media site you can probably think of.
Sorry.
And I make posts on there all the time, so I'm busy. It's really funny. I wanted to say something about this. I get people that come in, and they literally get mad at me because I don't respond to each and every person when they come in and say something to me. I have so many social media sites and stuff, it's really hard, but I try to do my best, so I want people to know that. I'm not ignoring them on purpose.
Yeah, I totally understand, because, I mean, we can't get to everyone. I mean, I try to answer everyone who messages us on Facebook and Instagram and all that, but it gets heavy traffic every now and then, and we all work full-time jobs, so trying to respond to everybody, it gets hectic sometimes. So I totally understand where you're coming from there.
Well, it was funny because I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, I have probably 120 friend requests right now that's just in queue, and when I go in to try and get them out, I get more and more that come in, where someone came on my page the other day and put a mean face by one of my photos that I posted. I went, oh, my God, who's this guy? So I go over there and look, and it says, confirm your friend request. And I was like, okay, well, that's a way to get your friend request.
Yeah.
Real quick, is to come show out on the page.
I'm going to take that as a no.
Yeah, wrong move, jackass.
I accepted them, and I've been watching them, and everything seems okay right now.
I mean, there's always the possibility of fat fingering.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, the
and
mean
I'm
faces.
very cautious. Yeah, and I try to be cautious on who I get because I never know if it's a fake account
Oh yeah.
or whatever. So I try to make sure they at least have so many friends in common, or they're into horror or something.
Yeah. See, that's like,
And-
I'm to the point right now where I usually don't accept a friend request from someone I don't know or haven't met unless we have over 100 friends in common.
That's how I do.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I haven't like 100 friends at all. So
Yes, you do.
Oh, yes, you do. You are
okay,
loved.
maybe like 150.
No, you have what? You have like 600 friends or something like that on Facebook.
How many do I have?
I don't know. I'm close to 3,500 or something like that now.
Yeah, I've got quite a few.
I think Steve, he's closing in on 4,000.
Seriously, I have 712.
Really?
You need to accept more friend requests.
I have friend requests, but I am cautious as well, and not one person do I have more than 100 like mutual friends with.
Well, because you only have 700.
Exactly.
No, I'll tell you God's honest truth. Say I've got 3,000. I bet you 2,500 of those are authors
Oh, really?
and book people that
See,
I follow, and then I bet you about 100 of them are ghosts.
Yeah. See, the majority of mine's all paranormal filled.
And that's funny because I had another interview with another paranormal group. His name's Bill Reap. He's on my friends list, and he's got a podcast that he does, and it's really funny because I had all these paranormal group and people coming in asking me to be their friend, because when people come in and they ask me to be friends, I make up this little thing and I say, welcome aboard or something, and then I say thanks for the friend request, and then I'll say happy haunt. And all of the paranormal groups and everything saw that, and they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was getting all these requests from paranormal, so that was pretty cool the way that ended up working out.
Oh, yeah. we're a pretty cool group of people, so
I mean, I think so.
yeah.
Right.
I
But-
think I'm in good company, so that's good.
Yeah.
And just
That's good.
just to let you all know, I have 81 friend requests that I have not accepted, but
You're
not
still cool. It's okay.
I've not deleted them because I'm waiting for them to get more friends so that I could be like, okay, we have more mutual friends. So if I
But
haven't,
let me tell you something. If you wait for that, and if your friends list is open where people can see who your friends are, anyone can come in and
don't think
stalk anyone. Because
Yeah. All I
can
gotta do is
go-
follow.
I don't
Yeah.
think my friends.
Yeah. You can follow you without being your friend.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. They can
Yeah,
follow
and
me all they
can follow
want.
you. Yeah, but just be careful, and this is for anyone else that's listening. It's always good to lock your friend request, your friend's page down, and put up as little information as you can on yourself, because after what I've been through, I can go on someone's Facebook page and I can find out so much about them. It's scary.
Yep.
You know, so everyone should be cautious with accepting friend requests and what you put up on your page and stuff like that.
Well, Kevin, have you learned anything tonight?
I've had a good time.
Well, I'm going to try to get you your own personal stalker. Just
Can it be Dolly?
possibly. That's who I'm going to work on. I'm going to try to get Dolly to stalk you.
Oh, God.
Or at least a man dressed up like Dolly.
Oh.
I know a few drag queens that could do that.
There we
too.
go.
That would be great.
Well, I'm going to post all of your links in the podcast notes so no one will have a problem at all finding you.
Okay.
To check out your merchandise and to get those Huggies for the Juggies shirts. And
I gotta get one of those.
so I see a sale coming your way pretty soon here. So
And it's really cool. And it's really cool right now because I've got, if you buy a Huggies from my Juggies t-shirt, I'm giving away a 5x7 photo signed, as well as a signed copy of the Sawgrass foot pad. So you're getting
Very cool.
2 free gifts. That's a $30 value for buying a Huggies from my Juggies t-shirt.
very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, awesome. Well, usually I wouldn't cut us this short, but we have 2 dogs that are driving us batshit crazy right now. And
Okay. We started late, too, tonight.
yeah, we did. Yeah. We'll see. That's how it works when we have to wait on Jessie. Because Jessie, like, her funeral's going to be halfway over before she ever shows up.
Yeah, I told my friends, wheel me in after everybody's sitting down and like wondering what's going on. I said, wheel me in about an hour and a half late.
Yeah.
That's how it
way
goes.
that way it's just like normal. Oh,
Right.
shit, Jessie ain't dead. She's just running behind.
Well, I'm sure I'll be in touch with you guys, and we'll be back on doing more shows.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
I look forward to it.
But
Well, I had a great time, guys. Thank you for having me on.
thank you for taking
Yes.
this time on your Saturday. You know, we totally
I don't
appreciate
have
it.
anything to do. My schedule's so
Yeah, we can tell.
Right.
We
You
can
sound
tell.
like you're bored.
Yeah,
exactly.
we need to buy her a puzzle. A 2,000
I'd
piece.
probably end up doing the puzzle and not working. That's bad.
That would be me.
Well, all right. Well, I'm going to say bye, and we thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had a blast talking with you. Like I said, all of your links will be posted in the podcast notes, so everybody check those out down in the bottom of the description. You'll find those. She's got some killer books, guys, and sounds like some amazing shit coming up soon. So everybody needs
Stay
I'm going to make a
tuned.
dent real
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah. Awesome.
right.
Awesome.
Good
Well,
luck
Thank
to
you, guys.
thank you, and you have a great evening, Tressa.
Thank you.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
She
It
was
was.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
And she's got, that lady's been through some stuff.
Well, no joke.
Yeah.
I mean, she is a lot stronger than I probably would be in that situation.
Her whole family's been through.
Yeah, her whole family's been
Seriously.
through some stuff.
I mean, just God, the depth that some people would go through.
Yeah.
Who thinks of that stuff? I mean, some of the
Crazy
stuff that
people.
he did to her,
I know.
really. I mean, talking about some crazy revenge.
It's gonna make for a good book, though.
Oh,
is.
I mean,
yeah.
really.
It,
Yeah, it really
It
is.
should be a movie.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Who knows what's coming?
That would
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
be so excited.
Hey, before we jump off here, too, I wanted to say, and I don't know if y'all have done one of these since then, but when we worked with the Wraith Chasers,
We
they
have
were really, really good people.
Yeah.
That's
Down to
true.
earth
We
people.
haven't mentioned that.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, they've been some things change. We've got so busy with going down to Hell's Bar, over the past several months, and we've got away from our residential investigations, and we've actually stepped down from Hell's Bar as staff so we could focus on our residential investigations.
Yeah.
Because that's what we were founded on. That's what we do, is help people. So we are still going to be having events come up in this next coming year. We're actually I'm working with someone right now to get events planned for us that we won't have to plan ourselves anymore. And
We don't have to cook the hot dogs.
we don't have to cook the hot dogs.
We don't have to roll them up.
We don't have
You
to roll
cook
them
the
up.
hot dogs.
Okay, yeah.
I wrapped
this
the
man,
hot dogs.
this man right here, manned that grill.
I wrapped them.
But
I ate them.
but we are going to be going to different locations. We are going to be having events at different locations, so everybody come out and join us.
Everything works for,
We had a great time at Hell's
we
Bar.
did. We've met a lot of great people.
Yes.
And it's an amazing place.
It really
it
is.
is.
And I highly suggest that if anybody gets an opportunity to go.
Yes.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we just, we've got to get.
This was just our time that we needed to step back. We needed to focus more on our residentials and, take a breather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But yeah, our last event down there was with Tennessee Wraith Chasers.
And they were
those guys,
amazing.
I mean,
I can't say enough about them.
yeah.
Seriously.
He tells everybody how amazing
They
they
were
were.
really, really good
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And I've heard negative things about a couple of the guys, but
I didn't see it.
No.
no,
I did not
firsthand, they were amazing.
We're not talking when everybody was around. They
No.
were putting on. We were there with them when
By
everybody was
ourselves.
just being themselves, and
Yeah.
they were really good people.
Genuine.
Yeah. Yeah. Great guys.
Yeah.
Tennessee boys to the heart.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hashtag Wraith Nation.
That's
Yes.
it, for real. I mean, those guys were so awesome. I mean, I sit there and talk to Doogie about his Dodge Ram because we both drive Dodge
Yeah.
Rams.
And
you
to
know.
Mike about his dogs.
And Mike about his
and-
dogs.
What did
And Brandon helped you, pick up your pieces from your e-cig.
I'm not gonna lie, I may have a crush on him.
He's adorable.
He is
so cute.
freaking
But
cute, is he
and
not?
What
He
did he
is.
say? A couple of them. Because I told him, I said, I've met some people that are on TV kind of thing. And a lot of times they're let down. I was like,
Yeah.
you guys are really good guys. And they're like, different times, they said, we're just regular people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were like shocked that I thought that
Yeah.
they were, famous, I guess,
Right.
quote unquote.
But
Yeah.
they
were
are.
like, we're just regular people.
Yeah.
And they,
they were.
Such good
yeah,
guys.
they were awesome. And yes, Jesse, I have a crush on Brandon.
Yeah. Yep. Brandon,
I
if
mean,
you're listening.
no
you
hate
got
to
two
the
fans.
others. No hate to the other guys.
Oh no, I loved all of them. And
Yeah.
last night I sat and watched Haunted
Oh, yeah.
Live.
It was good.
It
Last
was.
night was really good.
And I just every time I watch it, I'm just like,
Just want
I met them, I touched them, and
I
they
got a
were
selfie
awesome.
with them.
You touched them.
I,
Maybe we need to talk.
no, trust me.
We hugged. There was some hugging going on.
There was some touching. It's okay. I still love you though.
You're who she goes home to every night.
Exactly.
Don't remember. We were talking. They're like, I was talking to somebody about y'all doing this, and then I go with you, and they're like, well, one of these days, what if you meet the devil or something? I'm like, well, I'd shake his hand. I married his damn sister.
Oh, we got to have another one.
Boo. Everybody loves sweet tea. Please.
But yeah, I mean, it's been awesome. I mean, we've met some killer people.
Yes.
Being
And,
down there at Hell's Bar.
Friendships, hang on.
Yes.
We
Yep.
we love everybody.
Yep, we do. And we got more things to come. Some huge things to come. Hopefully.
I'm excited.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get back to the roots. I really
exactly.
am.
Well, I'm telling you guys, the 9th, it's going to be something.
Seriously, Jesse, we got to prepare for this.
Yeah.
Have you read? Did you read?
No.
No,
Oh,
no, she
gosh.
wasn't included on that on that
well, I
text
wasn't, but
message.
you let me read it.
Jesse's not included.
No, you're never
Okay.
here.
That's
I
'cause
didn't
you're
even
fired.
know
You
about
got
this
fired.
until Steve told me. He texted
you know you
me
got
like
fired again?
yesterday. I know. Y'all didn't even tell me I got fired.
You've been
Y'all
fired.
just assume
You've
I
been
know.
fired 19 times.
It's okay. Don't worry. I got fired the other day. So
You've been fired 19 times. It's just we love you and we keep bringing you back and don't tell you you're fired.
That's right. Y'all
We're just
get
not gonna
over
bother.
it and unfire me before I even know.
yeah.
It's like, she's fired. When's
We're
she
so
coming
fired.
over?
When's she coming back?
When is she coming over? She walks in the door and we're like,
Well, hello, Mr.
yeah.
It's the sweet tea.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Well, thank you, Kevin, for joining us.
yeah, dude,
tonight.
we totally appreciate you.
I hope my
Yeah, like
jokes
I don't
were
have
corny.
to deal with you enough.
It was.
Yeah.
They were.
Dude,
they were spot on.
I think Steve will be impressed. You know, I think he'll be like, some bitch, he acted just like me.
not
No,
at all.
No,
not
except,
at all.
Except you wasn't hitting on your wife. You were putting her down. So,
Exactly.
I hit on her. I mean, no. Too soon.
I miss you, Steve. My confidence is going down tonight.
but
Awesome.
all right, so I guess next weekend we'll have another podcast. If you guys can join us, you're more than welcome. Because Steve won't be here because he won't be back for another 2 weeks.
That's true. God, work.
So, and I'm thinking next
All that
week.
money.
Next week we need to talk of possession.
I'm gonna try my best to
or
be here.
next Saturday we can kind of base, depending on how the investigation goes on Friday, kind of base our discussion on Saturday about something related to Friday.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
catch my drift here.
You get what we're saying here?
You picking up what I'm throwing down?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm picking it up. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm slow tonight.
But, oh, and I just want to throw out there, everybody go check out, we mentioned them earlier, Vodka and Ghost. Their latest podcast was on Annalise Michael. That's what got me
I thought
thinking.
it was Michelle.
It may be.
French. Michelle.
Yeah, it probably is. You're right.
Michelle.
Yep. But, and they played like audio from The Exorcism.
Dude,
and it is creepy as shit.
I've seen the YouTube videos and stuff like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But, yeah, everybody go check out Vodka and Ghost and check out that podcast they just did on Annalise Michelle. But you would think I'd know that since I work with a guy named Michelle.
Yeah, that whole correlation. I just thought Annalise Michael. That just didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's Michelle.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably Michelle. I don't know.
I don't know.
Things
Anywho.
that make you go,
She also couldn't read the name of the
That's-
town on
that's
the
right.
paper.
Hey,
so I
hey,
don't
hey.
know if I'd be listening to her or not.
Hey,
It was
why is his
close.
mic still on?
The-
Why is his mic still on?
Push that button.
Push that button.
well, all right, guys. Anyway, we'll be back next week with something.
Something.
Yes, something awesome.
A little something.
Yeah. But I'm thinking we need to do something just us again because it's been a long, long time since we've done a podcast just us without an interview.
Yeah.
And
People may
so-
miss us.
Yeah. So maybe not. But they'll be like, "Oh shit, that's why I stopped listening." That's what it was. That's why. I
Where's
turned-
that wah wah wah?
Yeah, you're right there. That's why I stopped listening to them. They're dumbasses.
I hope Kevin's on there.
You were having way too much fun with that.
All right. Well, until next time, I'm Steven.
I'm Andrea.
I'm Jessie.
And I'm Kevin.
And you've been listening to Paratalk.
See you guys.
And that's all, folks.
You've been listening to Paratalk with the East Tennessee Ghost Seekers. If you have a question or comment about the show you've just heard, or you have an experience to share, or you need to contact us concerning an investigation, feel free to email us at etgsparatalk@gmail.com or call 865-264-5365. 865-264-0448. That's 865-264-0448. We invite you to find and like the East Tennessee Ghost Seekers on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us online at easttnghostseekers.org. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time on Paratalk.